these days? Well, let me tell you. I don't have long, I've got to pop out, but come with me and I'll have a quick chat. So, what's been going on? I have a vitamin business which is about to launch with my sister, which I started about 8 years ago, which I'm super, super excited to do. I've got my husband living over in China, so bringing up the 3 kids is absolutely crazy. I might have a little secret and surprise project happening with Victoria, one of the other housewives, and I've got something, another product launching at the end of this year. Oh my gosh, are you crazy? The Real Housewives was like being on Schoolies Week on steroids. We had such a great time. Oh, sorry, that was half my lunch hanging out my mouth. That's like saying pick a favourite friend or pick a favourite child. I'm not going to tell you that. I can tell you they're my least liked. There we go, girls. Come on in. Being a Real Housewife has made me a super cook. No, actually, it's not true because most of the other housewives can't cook, but I'm not going to tell you which ones. Everyone proclaims to be the best cook. But no, I love to cook and food's very much a part of our family's lives. I have so many good meals. I love a great breakfast, love a great omelette or scrambled eggs. I make wicked Chinese dumplings, fantastic vongole. Just ask me, I'm the best. I'm not really a sweet tooth. It's actually, and it has to be blue ribbon ice cream. I know, I forget all those fancy brands, and Milo. Can you believe it? It's delicious. If you haven't tried it, you haven't lived. I've got 3 children. I've got Billy, aged 14. I have Nico, who's 12, and Milana, my beautiful little girl, who's 10, going on 60. Look, I think they're very much a combination of my husband and I, although Billy and I tend to fight the most. I think we're most similar in terms of personality. I think the proudest moment is when you actually give birth. You think, my goodness, I mean, what you're capable of doing. You've created a little human being with your partner, and I think that's my proudest moment. Each of their births, to get a beautiful, happy, healthy child is a blessing. My mum had 4. I'm the youngest of 4 girls. So when the first grandson came along, my parents were ecstatic because they were so used to having girls. And then when I had 2 boys, and then my other sister had a boy, 11 grandchildren my parents have in total. Oh my gosh, which sister is the wildest? That'd be me. Oh my gosh, a crazy story. Look, we always have fun, no matter where we go. I think life's too short not to. There's many a holiday where we're up on a table dancing, or in Fiji where we've got the whole of the Japanese tourists up on tables dancing with us. So, every time that we're together as a family, apart from the big fights, and that's normally only at Christmas, we always are having a good time. I grew up in Brisbane. Grew up in a very small country town. No, it's not. Brisbane's a fantastic place to grow up, but I grew up on a farm. We had always 4 or 5 dogs, about 15 horses, over 100 birds in an aviary. So I had a really, really fantastic childhood that was, going down and feeding the horses, swimming in the dams. And we had the best of both worlds because I was modelling back then as well. I started at about 4 years of age modelling. So had the mix of the modelling and the farm life and the horses. Couldn't get much better. Look, I moved to Sydney when I was 18. I was already really familiar with it because I'd been modelling here since I was about 14. I started modelling in Sydney. I used to do all the big David Jones fashion parades and catwalk for Myers. I was with Ursula's models when I first moved down and then changed over to Vivian's. So I absolutely love Sydney. I think it's possibly the best city in the world. But I do love Brisbane too. I mean, you can go to the south of France and you can, I've lived in Italy and I've lived in Shanghai. But really in Australia with our beaches, our fresh air, also the food. I love a lot of Asian food, but Asian food tastes better in Australia than it does in, say, Vietnam or Shanghai because of our produce. I mean, we are the lucky country. There's no way, even if I had a video with me for the entire time I lived in Shanghai, you could not get a sense of what it's like, because you've got to get the noise, with the smells, with the chaos. It's one of the most vibrant, fantastic cities you will ever live or visit in your life. If you haven't been there, you've got to go. Look, I'd go to Shanghai. We've got a lot of friends there. My husband works there and lives there. So for me, of course, I'm going to want to be with him and be over there. I was single. I just finished working at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. I'd finished looking after Neil Diamond, who almost did my head in. And we had all the celebrities back in the day. There was Princess Diana. I got to meet her. I got to meet Fergie. So I decided I'd finishing up my job and I was going to go and learn Italian. Literally the second day I was there, I met a guy and ended up staying over in Italy for quite some time. I parlo la lingua perfettamente. Allora, so that was pretty crazy. I went over there for, a 2-week holiday and ended up staying for 6 months. Now speak Italian and had a fantastic time. I am an animal. If I had to be an animal, I love the meerkats. I love the giraffes. I think they're very elegant, they're long necks. But you know what? I think pretty much a dog. Doesn't that sound good? Definitely not a bitch, not a female dog, but a dog, because I think I'm pretty loyal. And I'm also a year of the dog. So if you're wondering what this little thing is, this was given to me by my husband at the beginning of this year, because this year is the year of the dog. And you have to have something red tied around you to have good luck if it's your year. So my husband wore red underwear for the entire year, but I figured rather than wearing the red underwear all year, just put this on. And that's actually the symbol for dog as well. I do, I have the most expensive dogs in Sydney. Come here, girls, Bondi, Bronte. Come here. Oh. So this is Bronte. Bondi. Hey, Bondi. What's up, girl? Come here. Don't get shy on me. Come on. So Bondi's very independent and Bronte is very needy. Everyone goes, oh, I can't tell them apart. I'm like, yes, one's a blonde, which is Bronte, and Bondi is the redhead. And I know they seem like crazy names now, but we actually named them when we lived in, hey, don't go away. We actually named them when we lived in China. And Bondi and Bronte were good names then. Not realising that when we brought them back, it might seem a little bit strange doing the Bondi to Bronte walk, yelling out Bondi and Bronte. It was exceptionally difficult bringing them back. They spent a very, very long time in quarantine. They then had to come into quarantine down in Melbourne and then got flown up. It was very hard and very expensive. I could have bought a couple of nice cars with it, but they're certainly worth it. There used to be a really big, it was almost like the Fashion Week is now. There used to be a really big week in Sydney years and years ago, and I was only 15 years old. And it was at the entertainment centre, and you only got one outfit to wear each. And I had these little tiny sort of buns in my hair, and I basically came down that day and was exposed to so much in that one day. That would definitely be memorable for me. Look, with my modelling achievements, I think, the fact that I modelled for so long, from when I was really little, from 4 till, I suppose I'd really finished sort of in my mid-20s and then dabbled here and there after that. I had a children's show when I was 15 years of age called Footprints, which I co-hosted with someone. I was the youngest person ever to walk in the Myer Imports parades. At age 14, I had to teach myself to wear high heels, unlike my daughter, who can walk perfectly in them. But probably I did a Just Jeans commercial and I was 15, and they cast all over Australia, and I ended up getting it, and I made some really great money from that, which I ended up buying my first apartment with. Oh, look, for me, I'm passionate really about my family. I think, my family, that includes my extended family. I'm passionate about food, but I'm also passionate with having children in my family, is making sure that they're going to be looked after. I think, for me, there's so much you can do as a parent, as an individual. I'm very passionate about the environment. I think the fact that, every plastic straw that's ever been used is still on earth today. Say no to the plastic straws. I think my middle son, Nicholas, is very passionate about animals, and so through that I've seen so many documentaries where these poor birds are opened up and their stomachs are just laden with plastic. I've seen fish that have plastic bags pulled out. I mean, how easy it is to take your own reusable bags. The fact that they have not in New South Wales changed that now. So don't even get me started. And all these little things like reuse, recycle, don't consume as much. I think that that's something I'm really passionate about. I'm also passionate about my charity, which is called the Wishing Well. Ever since I started my own business, I've been involved with children's charities, Bernardo's for many years, and then I've been involved with, when I came back from China, I was involved in the blind orphanage when I was in China, dealing with, children that were blind. And yeah, it's always been children-related charities. So the Wishing Well for me is a really important charity. It actually deals with abused children, and it helps them find the therapies that they need in order to recover so they don't end up in the prison systems in years to come. Yes, I always teach them the RAK, which is the Random Act of Kindness. So I always ask them, what have you done today that's helped someone else? So I think the most important things, besides being successful or doing really well at school for my children, is to have kind hearts. I also drum into them, don't get a plastic bag when you go and buy something, and we use metal straws at home, and they know that they'll recycle the jars. So I think teaching them, and also nothing is, even if you don't want to do all of those things, even if you adopt one in your household and make sure you recycle, you're going to be helping the environment. First thing I notice about people is the feeling I get when I meet them. For me, it's all about the feeling. It's all about that person's aura. So that is always the first thing I notice, is how that person makes me feel. Undies? No. Good shoes, because undies is always a must, because if you've got a really tight ball gown. Anyway, that's another story. Yeah, good shoes, love a good watch, love nice handbags, and then I can go and buy a $20 outfit from Zara, and I think you can still look good as long as you've got good shoes and good bag. Cold versus hot, I'm a Queenslander. Do you even need to ask that? Hot all the way. But in saying that, I do love to ski, and I love being rugged up around a warm fire. So. Oh my gosh, heels versus flats. I love a mix of both. Never say never. Love a bit of a heel, but if I'm hanging out, but I also love barefoot.